that even if you are traveling, you can go with your spouse to have intimacy at any time you want. If your work takes you out of the home all the time or some of the time, you have opened a gap that shaitan will fill. And this lack of constant intimacy results into either constant anger and conflict, the woman raising her voice, becoming a source of quarrel without her. Sometimes the woman doesn't know that that is the cause. She doesn't know. Sometimes she knows. The man wondering why she's angry. So we ask Allah to give us understanding. Number three is that, I mean, arising from this. What is it now? Okay, architects too can be on their own. Okay, thank you for that addition. Thank you for that addition. We constantly only find that arising from intimacy, we are libas for each other. Libas is also that we are clothes cover. We are cover for each other. And if we are so, it means we must live together and we must have intimacy that will protect the two parties, that will prevent the two parties from falling victim of avoidable zina. Aaron Shokuta, we are all human beings. Schooling tells us, like we have said before, that it is not all about sex. The Christians can do that. It is not difficult for the Christians to survive this, but the Muslims cannot say this because it is unnatural to talk like that. That's not the natural way Allah has created us. The Christian that says it's not all about sex, can have sex anyhow. Outside marriage, even the deepest of them in faith commit zina, and it is nothing. Perhaps this is why Muslims too commit zina. We have discussed this. So finally, from my part, I want us to consider the following solutions. Apart from trade, skilled labor, service providing, and agro-business, any other job is neither halal nor haram and not makruh. The reason is this: all the jobs that put us into trouble today were not present in the time of the Prophet. The Prophet never envisaged them. And so we cannot say anything about it. Allah did not prescribe any of this to us. What Allah prescribes are just three: trade, agro-business, and jihad. Even jihad, Allah calls it tijara. And anything that deviates from it, the Jews wanted to make the finance system, the river-filled finance system, they call it tijara, they call it buyer, business. And Allah says no. He has Arama by Alal by Arama River. So anything between trade and agric is neither halal nor haram. It is to be considered as you being hired by somebody, either as a slave or a skilled laborer, and being paid. When it is now public, government, it makes government a god. And we are going to enter trouble when we try to make any pronouncement on this. Because although the Prophet Islam only laid the principle for public service, he said, if we employ anybody, we should give him accommodation, right, and marriage. We should give him accommodation, a right, and we should facilitate his marriage. If he's not married and is working for us, that will be fit. If we have employed a person, his marriage is obligatory upon us. That is the idea. Umar, Abu Bakr, through Umar, started the idea of salary. That is, he told Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu, when he took his third child, the second day he became Amir, and Umar asked him, where are you going? He said, I'm going to the market, of course. I'm a textile dealer. He said, you will not have time to administer the state, the Khilafah. Why don't you settle for salary? And they began to give them salary. The same way they were giving the Mujahideen honorarium. Apart from when they go for jihad and they take ganimat. Umar initiated the idea of giving soldiers honorarium. He initiated the idea of giving old people salary, and initiated the idea of what do you give people? Pension. When he saw a Jew, he was barely able to carry himself, and he invited. He asked him what the problem was, paying jizya, and he wasn't able to pay. He wouldn't be able to pay his jizya if he didn't work hard, no matter how difficult the work was. Umar took pity on him, and this was the beginning of pension. He lamented that we took your labor by taking jizya from you from your labor when you were young. It is not fair to continue to take jizya from you at old age. So he waived jizya. Jizya was like a kind of tax, but it is not zakat. Zakat is not tax. It's an obligatory act of ibadah, a means of purifying your wealth. If zakat is obligatory, all of us are servants. A euphemistic word for slaves. Taking pittance, how do we pay zakat? May Allah bless our hustle. Finally, we must accept that our situation as civil servants, although scholars want us to accept that civil service started with Umar and was advanced, rectifications and so on, bureaucracy and so on, were initiated by Umar, postal services and so on. If we accept this theory, it means it was something that was done to improve the condition of the people. But it was not a mandatory job for everybody. And there was no school system that produced these civil servants. People were appointed into the government based on their merit, based on their competence, based on the needs for their services. People did not apply. And this makes it cumbersome to compare our today's civil, public, and private services to what happened in Medina. Finally, the principle of labor that I know, that I can remember, is that wages must be negotiated, and the negotiation is strong on the part of the laborer. The laborer determines the wage, which is not applicable. Two, the laborer must be paid immediately, no delayed payments. Number three, the laborer must not be oppressed. He must not be oppressed. He must not cry. He must not cry. He must not say, Allah will judge between me. But we find ourselves in this situation where we constantly say, Allah Isa, Allah will judge. And we like it. My submission is this. Let us understand, those of us who are working with government, who are working as public servants, who are working and being paid salary, let us understand that our situation is not palatable, not strictly Islamic. We are working as oppressed people. The school that we went to was based on the pedagogy of the oppressed. It produced excellent servants, not skilled labor. And the social media is making us like it, because all sorts of things that a Muslim must not do is what we do to make it, to even pay zakat, to even go on Hajj. I will mention only one, without which many people will not survive. The Prophet ﷺ asked somebody to go and collect zakat. He went and brought the zakat and delivered. The Prophet now saw other things in his hand and asked him, who owns this? And he said, this is for the state. This is what they gave me. And the Prophet got angry and said, we sent you to collect zakah, you brought money and said, this is for Allah, this is for you. Why didn't you stay in your father's house? And people will come and give you. It is still crime, it is still corruption. Anything they give you above the wage we have to give you, and your honorarium from the zakah is corruption, is bribery. Meaning, any extra on top of your salary is questionable. Lastly, how can we live on questionable income and means and expect the barakah of Allah? I give two examples. Khidr and Musa met, and Musa was to learn from Khidr. The first thing they did at the commencement of the journey was Khidr scuttling the boat. The next thing is he killed a young person, a boy. The third one, he repaired a collapsing wall. When Musa asked the question that he was not to ask, Khidr explained, the boat belonged to two miskin, and the king seized the boat at the end of the river. He scuttled it to prevent the king from putting his eyes on the boat and taking it. That is labor. Dignity of labor. The miskin own boats and they are using it, poor people own boats and they're using it for their means of livelihood. That you are on your own doesn't mean you'll be rich. It doesn't mean you'll be rich. You can still be poor, but it's better to be on your own. The boy will turn his parents into far, and Allah asks him to kill the boy, so Allah will replace him with a better child. And he repaired the wall because there is a treasure under it that belonged to two orphans. Wakana Abuhuma Salaha. And their parents were righteous. Every bit of it relates to family. These are the three major lessons Khidru taught Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. What is my business? Whatever does not strengthen business, I mean your family. If your schooling, your knowledge, your degree does not assist your family to get out of poverty or to manage it, if your knowledge from your schooling does not make you righteous, for example, you want to go away for work or dawah, and you didn't know how to plead with your spouse that you are not going to take along. They are just saying you're going for dawah, inshallah. Allah never go. In Surah to Isra, God says, and if you are going to go away from them, speak to them handsomely. So, whatever does not strengthen family, from your schooling produced the knowledge, the certificate that gave you your job. If your job is not strengthening the family, it's not protecting the wealth of the family, it's not securing the future of orphans, that must necessarily come from the family, except if the family doesn't have a child. Then your knowledge is useless. Your work is useless. Your work is not amalan salaha. You have to understand this. How do you make your work amalan salaha? If you are angry as a result of the situation your schooling and your work put you, as a man, don't vent the anger on your spouse. Be patient. What you lack, what you cannot enjoy now, you will enjoy it in Al-Jannah. If you are not enjoying your husband as a Muslim, be patient. If Allah makes you both inmates of Al-Jannah, you will enjoy yourselves forever. If one of you is not an inmate of Al-Jannah, Allah will provide alternative spouse. However, it is not consistent with being happy with this situation. You have to protest to Allah that you accept this situation because there is no alternative. Allah should provide alternative. Allah should accept it, make it easy for you to worship Him and to enjoy happiness in this family, despite the circumstances of work that will not make you enjoy and also have happiness. Above all, you can avoid zina if you fear Allah. That is why I said, be patient. This sabr is not just not talking. It is not committing zina. It is because you are not having it. Whoever has committed, that is why. Whoever has not committed, that is why you are perpetually conflicted. Once in a while, want to commit. Don't ever go there. You can live above sin when you know that soon, that soon may even be 40 years. It may be 30 years, but soon we get to heaven. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide rest and happiness for you. Let me say how bad I have been tonight. Let me see how badly I have performed tonight by raising your hand and enriching this discussion. Engineer Idowu, what can we do to
I'm here, sir.
100? Alaikum salam.
Yes, Jazakallah khair.
Can we expand this platform to accommodate more than 100 people?
We are working on that, sir. We are going to get it done soon.
Because immediately we reach 100
meanwhile, people can go on YouTube. Yes, we know. The Secretariat is working on it, and we advise people, we appeal to them to join YouTube for now. So, while we are, the work is ongoing.
Man, who was not able to make his comment last week? This is a carryover. Dr. Abdullah Sulaiman. Can you make your comment tonight?
Yeah, you can unmute now.
What happened? Doctor is not. Okay, any other person? Wonder what is happening that doctor is not. You couldn't unmute. Let me unmute you again. I've tried to unmute you before. Unmute now. Doctor. Somebody to unmute Abdullah Sulaiman. Maybe only the host can unmute. Can we unmute all? Network. While we are waiting for Dr. Sulaiman Abdullah.
No.
Okay. Okay. You are co-host now. Yeah, go ahead. You should be able to unmute yourself now as co-host. Is it network?
Naam, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Naam, jazakumullahu khairan, sir. May Allah reward you abundantly. Actually, last week I actually had a question to ask. which is as regards our the work we do, and in relationship with our families. From the reality that we face day in, day out, is that with this knowledge that Allah is exposing us to, if we decide to quit our jobs to maximize time for family and so on and so forth, it's actually a decision that is going to have a lot of consequences. Most importantly, for those of us that our parents are still alive. So my question is, with this knowledge that Allah is making us get aware with, some of us, of course, may decide to perhaps maybe quit, change jobs, and so on, so as to have time for family. Now, the question I wanted to ask is, the decision, even if it's okay with us, certainly will not go down well, most especially with our parents and so on and so forth. So how do we really manage this reality? That was actually the question I had last week.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. God bless you. It means your understanding of this matter was deep. But there are two reasons a Muslim must not quit a job that is not clearly haram, although the job is infringing on his family life. Number one, like your job, if it strengthens life, it assists people, it is productive, it has utility, people benefit from it. I did not quit, I quitted public service as a admin officer in a local government because I knew what government meant and I didn't want to be part of it. I took up teaching job because it amounted to jihad. It was a new university and the Muslims had no presence at all. So I was asked to go, and immediately I landed, I became imam. If your job will take care of the interests of Muslims like your own job, every moment you spend there is jihad. And every inconvenience is reward for you, provided you have this understanding. Loving it and competing with non-Muslims is what is wrong. What we resolve tonight is that as long as we don't have alternative, don't let us be happy and proud of a slave situation that we are. After all, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was a slave, but he became a minister from prison because he was useful as a slave. He used his skill, his talent to help fellow slaves. So wherever we are slaves, we can still function. As long as it is not clearly haram. You can quit bank, and nobody, I'm sure, is working in a brewery. And nobody is selling dogs or pigs, and so on and so forth. And nobody is selling drugs. So these are the jobs you can keep. But you can continue to persuade your family to be patient until Allah provides alternative or makes it easy. Wallahu alam.
Yes. Any other contribution, any other clarification, any other question, any other information? Well, while we await people to talk, another thing I want to call our attention to is that public service, civil service seems to be a very fertile brain ground for extramarital affairs. Maybe because so many people have challenges at home, they have challenged families. So, and most of the productive time daily are spent in the office. So it seems to be a very brain ground. It's a conducive brain ground for extramarital affairs, which is the issue we are actually trying to examine. May Allah ease our affairs. Comment contributions?
Right. Why is this platform so quiet tonight? We were talking last week now. Everybody was talking. Abiko clear.
Oh. Oh.
Tradition. Yes, it may be that civil service or public service provides a fertile ground for extramarital affairs. But there is no situation that does not push people into it. As a as a regular traveler, air traveler, a number of times women make passes to you on the plane. 1 hour flight, just 1 hour flight. The fact is, everybody is under pressure. Our work, our lifestyle have made it virtually impossible to have adequate libido. And Shaitan wants us to have it anyhow. I have seen a situation, may Allah forgive me, where somebody did it with a hair hostess in the toilet. And I was begged not to raise alarm. As small as the plain toilet is, they did it. So, may Allah preserve us on Khairah. Some Muslims, especially, did not take our current system as a war front, and whatever they get from the system as ganimat. It is not now. It is not current system. It has been there. Sheikh Kumi was one of those who popularized it. They say it is Darul Arb. It's a way of legitimizing haram. That is why they are mostly the thieves. Indeed, although the tax thing that the present government is doing is oppressive, as in it being an MOU rather with France, the noise is more from those who don't pay tax at all. They say they cannot pay tax. It's a scholarly justification and ratification of haram. Allah Allah. So, to that clergy, national coordinator, national coordinator.
I'll say the national coordinator on the platform.
Oh. Okay, let's address the concerns on the platform. Sometimes the civil service is an adult relief for couples who are not making headway in their marriages, boycotting their spouse and seeking help with office mates. Of course, Prof, that's what is going on. Sadiq, intimacy is a topic that most people don't like to discuss because it is real and raw. Perhaps listen for no contribution. Mobile. Way out. We have preached patience. Don't transfer this anger on your spouse. Try to understand that bó ṣe wà ń líkì ló wà ń gbàǹjà ẹ ní sùúrù fúnra yín kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. As for avoidable zina, we call it avoidable, although it is quite slippery. Let us be patient. Don't let us. Ẹ má jẹ́ ajá o. Ẹ má jẹ́ ajá dànù. Can we find out why the national coordinator and somebody called me?
Just a brief comment, sir.
Yes, come in.
Assalamu alaikum. I just want to appreciate the Imam for today's presentation and to break the jinx of the silence. Actually, the last few statements you made during the main presentation, which you also reiterated a few seconds ago before I jumped in, sums it up. That as Muslims in this world, we must enjoy and endure with the hope that the eternal paradise will be ours. And that is what we should really hang on to. That is that should be the incentive for us to hang on, as you have put it, and not break away. It's a funny experience that the subject of zina is so common everywhere. Nowhere is spared in this world. And for those of us who are out here, it's like so to say, because they don't even see it as. In fact, you that you are struggling not to do it are the one that is abnormal in the society. You are considered as abnormal. And it's as bad as that. So we thank you again, Imam, for emphasizing and re-emphasizing the need for patience. And to just keep our focus, keep our eyes on the hope of entering paradise. Yeah, everything is free and eternal. So that's enough, Harry.
Why young? Okay, thank you very much. Women in male-dominated profession with collaboration being a way to rise. Yeah, the woman should constantly remind herself that she's married and that she's a Muslim and that she will be accountable. So the woman must not misbehave, no matter what happens. She should remind herself. Two, she should constantly remind her colleagues that she's married by frequently talking about her husband, even if all is not going well, even if all is not well. You know, when you make your husband, your colleagues know that there is a little problem, they see it as a window to come in. This must not happen. And the ultimate is to have hope that even if you're not getting it here, you will get it in Al-Akhirah. That is just it. It is as bad as that. We are virtually writing ourselves off. That as long as we work, because again, by the time you wait for retirement, there is nothing to enjoy again at old age. When you now calculate everything and find out Odono Lagba, man is in a state of loss. So we should be careful. Lastly, how do we handle this for our children not to fall into this problem? Very simple. One, encourage the children not to rely on government work, paid job. Let them be on their own with your active support. Number two, when they marry, support both husband and wife. If is the couple, if one of them is your daughter, like I told them in the masjid this evening, you don't marry your daughter out and then ask of responsibility. You don't hand your daughter out to another family. She remains your daughter, and you don't expect your daughter to give you money. Once in a while, you support her. Once in a while, you visit them. Once in a while, you make them able to live. It is when they graduate and go away that they are vulnerable. That is just it. Support your children and constantly make them to be on their own. As for workplace, bringing family to the workplace, no, it is not. When you praise or complain about your spouse, could be an incentive for zina. No, when the man does so, it could be an incentive for zina. But when the woman praises her husband, a man is not likely to think of committing zina with a woman who talks good about her husband. As men too, we know the woman that wants to commit zina. Even when she talks about her husband positively, there is a way to do so. When a man begins to show interest, it is then you remind him that the woman reminds him that she's married by talking about her husband. But the man must not talk about his wife, because anything you say will be an incentive. So thank you very much, girls. But she's not going to talk about her husband to a female colleague. No, it is not advisable to talk about your husband to a female colleague. The concern here is a woman in a male-dominated profession. In the light of this, we can close tonight. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Yeah, you can't be confused. We have said that it is not only in public service. Zina occurs everywhere. Zina occurs everywhere. It's not only in civil service. We are only saying it is more rampant.
Especially in the Nigerian context, where most of us in civil service we are less busy. We are busy doing nothing most of the time. So our brain are idle. So we think of something to occupy it. And most of the time, illicit affairs. So inshallah, we meet again next week. May Allah accept it as a Assalamu alaikum.